Well, good afternoon. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, I just took one shoe off. That felt quite amazing. Now I gotta take the other one. I like these shoes. These shoes are comfortable, but they're cloth on top, like they're clothy, and so they are slightly big, so these might not technically supposed to wear socks with them, but since they are slightly big, I have to wear socks. So when I go to take them off, they take my whole sock off. They were very good, very comfortable. I've had them for a while. These were my work shoes from when I was caregiving. So, excuse me. So we just got home. We did our grocery shopping. We took my mom's puppy to it ended up being like the, I can't think what it's called. It's like a pound, but oh, I did not know there was an egg in there. Oops. Hold on, let me clean up my egg. Sorry about that. I did not realize that I had one egg left up here. It was like right here, and I didn't realize. I thought this whole entire tray was empty. So when I pulled it out, it was raw egg all over my floor. So anyhow, it's kind of like a fancy pound, like a humane society, whatever you want to call it. And so anyhow, my mom just, unfortunately, my mom is an amazing animal owner. When my mom has animals, she takes care of them. She loves them. She does her best by them. And even though that I know that it was very hard for her to let go of her puppy, not really a puppy, the thing was like 5 years old, but it's like one of those small dogs, Yorkie, Shih Tzu, Pikachu, not Pikachu, like those type of small dogs. And so, I mean, she'd had it for she told me that she was about 5 years old, so she's had it that long. She got it as a puppy. So, excuse me. So, my mom takes care of her dogs. She takes care of any animals that she has. She takes care of them to the best of her ability. Considering that my mom has been done the way that she's been done, she is not financially able anymore. She was financially able, but due to certain circumstances, she's just not financially able to take care of her anymore. So she felt like it was better to go ahead and give her up so they could find her a good home with someone that could financially take care of her. So, and it was hard. I honestly, hold on, baby. What is it?
I want music.
Okay, well, go to your room and do it, baby.
No, I want to.
Well, no, baby. So, it's not the fact I did not like this dog. I just prefer my big dog. I love my dog, which is still technically at my mom's. But, I've got mine, and I love her, and, that's the only dog I like right now. I like my dogs, but don't really like everybody else's dogs. I'll tolerate them. I'm okay with them. But if it's not mine, I just, And so, my mom really thinks that I hated her dog. I didn't hate it. It wasn't mine, so I just really didn't care. It's not like I would roll around on the floor with it. One, I'm too old to be doing all of that craziness. Two, I'm not even going to get on the floor and roll around with my German Shepherd. So I'm definitely not going to do it with the little bitty thing that, well, I could seriously hurt if I accidentally rolled on top of her. So, anyhow, So, but even though that I was not close to this dog, it's one of those type of things where it's not my dog, so it's a whatever. But Cece, leave him alone. Don't do that. But I can honestly say that I actually did break down because they did ask. They asked some questions as to why she was being given up, and of course I did have to give them. I had to tell them, and when I was talking to the guy, telling him what happened and what went on, and as to the reason why my mom had to give her up, because they were actually very confused, because my mom had her registered as an emotional support animal, or an emotional support dog. And we were planning on getting her, we had talked about at one time getting her trained to where she could actually be like a service dog, but we just never got that far. Because the reasoning of us doing that reasoning or that situation doesn't exist anymore. Like, that situation went away. And so we just never did it. And so he was like, she's an emotional support animal. Like, what? Like, wait a minute, hold on. I need more details here. And so I actually started breaking down crying because it made me realize that this was my mom's baby. And because someone else chose to be hateful and to be spiteful and to take advantage of my mom and treat her like dirt, my mom has had to give up one of the most important things in her life. And yes, honestly, even though I'm her child, I still think that she liked the dog more than she likes me. The dog is more important to her than me, because I'm grown. That dog was her baby. It was her companion when my fixin' to be ex stepdad was off working, and when he was part of the military and he was gone for weeks at a time, in a different state doing stuff for the military. That was her companion, and she needed that. She got her because she needed a companion, and now she's not going to have that anymore. And my mom, and I'm not saying this as a way to cuss, because I'm not. I've always told you guys I'm going to try not to cuss on here or say any type of slang words. So I'm not saying this in that way. But this particular person in my mom's life has put her through hell. My mom is in the midst of going through hell right now. That is the only way I know how to describe it. And sometimes I really just want to go find this person and throat punch them. I really, really do. But it is not my place. And my mom has already told me, don't you do it. Keep it. She's like, by your dad side is showing. And I'm like, ooh, okay. Gotta reel it back in. It's one of those things to where I have to start praying immediately. And I'm like, Lord, you're going to have to help me, because his side is showing. We know what happens when his side comes out. We don't need his side to come out. They are not the greatest people in the world. That's a totally different thing. I don't know if I'll actually ever do a video about that. But if I do, and y'all actually ever do want to watch it, it will be an 18 and over type of situation. So y'all would have to, if you wanted to. But anyhow, I probably won't ever do it. But anyhow, it's not a good thing when his side, his genes starts, his side of the family starts coming out in me. It's not. And so she's like, it's showing. Bio data showing. Reel it back in. And I'm like, ooh, okay. So, but I did. I kind of broke down a little bit. Kaleb, actually, I thought Kaleb was going to be the one that would break down. But Kaleb did really, really good. I was very proud of him. Elena cried but it was more of the fact of we took a pet in, but we didn't bring a pet out. And she wanted to take a pet home with her. Like, she thought that we were dropping the puppy off and we're getting another one or something like that. Like, she didn't quite understand. And the fact that they've got 2 rooms of freaking cats right there behind the desk. They got one right here and one right there, and they eventually had to shut the doors because Elena kept trying to go in there because she wanted the cats. And they were both rooms like the cats were sick. So like they did not, nobody needed to be in there, especially not small kids. So she got upset because of that. It wasn't the fact that we got rid of her. She just wanted to take a pet home with her. She's like, but we need another pet. No, baby, we don't need another pet. You know, Vanna is very big, and it's going to be really, really hard to have her here. She is a, 10 to 13-year-old German Shepherd. And she's not she's full grown, but she's a little bit more on the bigger side. Some German Shepherds, even when they're full grown, they're a little bit more on the smaller side. Some are cute. Vanna is kind of in the middle. She's not too small, but she's not the biggest that I've seen. But she is definitely on the slightly bigger side. And it's going to be really hard to have her here because this is just a small place. But in a line, I'm thinking that Elaine is thinking that she's not coming. But when my mom moves out of her house, Vanna will have to come here because I am not happening. For several different reasons. One, that is my baby, and I'm definitely not ready to give her up yet. Not only that, she's getting closer to the end of her life, and I don't want to do that to her. And not only that, me and my ex got her as a puppy, and she does have training to be, she is not registered to be a support animal, but she has the training. She has training to be a PTSD service dog. We never got her registered for that because I never got to the point to where I needed her to actually go inside of buildings and stuff with me. I could take her riding with me. I could leave her in the truck or leave her in the vehicle with the windows down while I run inside real quick. I could go to town without her. So it wasn't necessary for us to get her registered. And since she's getting closer to the end of her life, I'm not even going to try. But I don't want to get rid of her. I want to keep her until she passes on. And she is already showing signs of that. And I don't want to, and I'm sorry. There's been a lot of emotional things going on today. But I do not want to try to give her up or give her to someone and have her be part of a new family when she, goes through this dramatic time in her life. I don't want to do that. I want to go through that with her. And so even though that she's going to be too big and it's going to be really cramped and probably very, very annoying, especially considering that a lion does not mind animals, but he does not want animals. He's alright with animals, but he doesn't like to have animals. And so, but I think I hope that he realizes. And I made a comment the other day. I was like, because he's like, well, what about Anna? And I was like, well, what about her? He's like, well, isn't she still at your mom's? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, what is she going to do with her? I said, she's coming here. And he's like, oh my Lord. And I'm like, yeah. And then we got busy doing other things. And so we never actually, but I hope he realizes that she's not going anywhere. I cannot handle that. There's too much. There are too much things that's going on, and there's things that's going on just inside the family, things that's going on with my mom. And it's kind of got all three of us like really stressed out and very emotional. And it's just, there's a lot of things that's going on that unfortunately I can't really talk about like through YouTube. I can't really talk about it except for like with us three adults. And I have to be careful with what I say because especially Kaleb is getting to the point to where he is really starting to understand certain things. And so I have to be very careful with what I say. And so there are just some things that cannot, unfortunately, I told y'all, I'd always be transparent, but there are just some things that I just cannot talk about on social media. It's just the way it is. And it's because I just don't have permission to talk about it. And I just don't have permission to talk about it, and so I can't. And so it's just a very emotional time within our family, especially me, because I'm trying to help my mom. I'm trying to be there for her, but I'm also still trying to be there for Aline. I'm trying to be there for myself, be there for the kids, and I feel like I'm being pulled in every single direction that I could be pulled. I feel like I'm being pulled in 10,000 directions. And I feel like I'm failing tremendously. I do. I feel like I am the world's worst daughter. I feel like I'm world's worst wife. And the main thing is I feel like I'm the world's worst mother. And on the way home, I was sitting there and I prayed, because after we dropped the puppy off, we had to run by a line shop, and then we went to Walmart and CVS to pick up stuff that we needed. And all the way home, I literally was sitting there praying about all of these different situations, all these different things that's going in our life right now. And I was trying to be very quiet. I had the AC blasting. I had the music up a little bit. I was seriously trying to not be loud. I was trying not to have the kids hear me. And of course they were talking amongst themselves. And so I thought I was good. But there was something that I said in my prayer that apparently at some point in time, apparently the kids heard it. And, we got home and Caleb's like, I have to go to the restroom. So I'm trying to get him in. I'm trying to get Elena in because they're both screaming the same thing. And so, I'm dealing with Elena, getting her finished up, because she still needs a little bit of help because she's so short. It's hard for her to get up and down off the toilet because ours is taller and she can't quite get up and get down by herself. So I sat down and I was helping Elena, finish getting dressed or redressed, whatever you want to call it. And Kaleb walked over there to me and he said, "Mommy, can I have a hug, please?" And I was like, "Well, sure, let me finish with Sissy, but yeah, you can have a hug." So I went to go give him a hug and he said, "No, Mommy, that's not the hug that I want. That's not the type of hug I want." "Well, what kind of hug do you want, baby?" And he says, "I want the biggest hug that you can give me without hurting me." I was like, "Well, okay, but I can do that. I can squeeze you." And he said, "No, Mommy." He says, "I want a real, true hug from you." And I was like, "Okay, what's going on?" And the tone of his voice was like, "Okay, something's wrong. What is it?" Mommy knows something's going on. There is a reason why you're saying it this way and saying it in this tone. What is it? What is wrong with you? What happened? And he said, "Well, Mommy," he said, "you know how you were praying in the truck?" And I said, "Well, yeah." Because Kaleb, they kept trying to talk to me I would answer their questions if they need to ask me something, but if they just wanted to talk, I would, tell them, say, okay, well, let's talk later. Mommy is trying to pray. And they're like, ooh, okay. Finish praying, Mommy. And so he said, well, you know how you were telling us that you were praying? And I said, yeah. And he said, I did not hear everything that you told Jesus. He said, but there is something that I did hear. I said, well, what is it that you heard? Well, Mommy was trying to have it to where you didn't hear, because that was a private conversation between Mommy and Jesus. So what is it that you heard? And he said, Mommy, I heard you tell Jesus and ask Jesus to help you be a better mom, because you feel like you fail us. And you feel like you're not a good enough mommy for me and Sissy. And I said, oh, crap. I should have been more careful. And I said, well, Bubba, I'm sorry that you heard Mommy say that. That was a private conversation between me and Jesus. You really shouldn't have been listening in, because I was eavesdropping. I said, but don't worry about it. It's okay. Me and Jesus knows what Mommy was talking about. And he said, I know, Mommy. He said, I know, Mommy. I do know. He says, I know I'm little. But Mommy, I'm telling you, you are not a bad mommy. You don't fail me. You are the best mommy ever. And I love you infinity. Kaleb does not always talk like that. Like, he does not always talk and use words like adults. But when he does, it flipping packs a punch. And I just started crying, and I was like, well, baby, sometimes I don't feel like I'm a good mommy. Mommy tries her best, but sometimes I just don't feel like I do a good enough job. And Mommy just wants you and Sissy to be happy. He said, but Mommy, we are happy. I'm happy. He says, I'm glad you're my mommy. I'm glad Jesus gave me you as my mommy. He said, I don't want another mommy. Which, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, for that. And he said, Mommy, even when you spank me, or you take my toys away, or you ground me and won't let me watch my TV, I still love you. And I will always love you. Because I know that if Mommy spanks me, it's because I'm bad. And I need to stop being bad. Because Mommy loves me, and she spanks me or grounds me because she loves me. And I couldn't help but tear up and cry, and we sat there and us three hugged for a minute. But even though as moms and even dads, we feel like we fail our kids, we feel like they would be better off with being born to someone else. But our kids don't think that. They really don't. They don't care if we can give them vacations and brand new cars and a bunch of expensive toys, or just toys in general. They don't care. They just want us to be here. They want us to physically just be here for them and just to love them. And even though that I should have been more careful, I should have made sure that there was no way that they could ever hear the things that I talk, that I pray about, and that I say during my prayer, because not all of it is okay for little ears to hear. But for whatever reason, God allowed Caleb to be able to hear that. So Caleb could tell me that he still loved me even if I get on to him. And that, honestly, it just kind of made my day. So, but anyhow, I know I've rambled. I know this is a longer video. I'm sorry if you've made it this far. I appreciate you. We love you guys. I'm going to be making another video after I clean myself and get all kind of calmed down, and I need to put the groceries up. So I'm going to put the groceries up, and then I'm going to make another video because I want to show you guys the packages and stuff that that I picked up. Because one got sent to my mom's, one got sent here, but ended up at our landlord's house because they didn't want to drive around. And then I had to go to CVS and pick one up. And I have another one coming. It's Elaine's Father's Day gift, and it will be here Monday. It's being sent to my mom's. So, because I don't know when I will actually physically be able to actually go get it. And I don't know how long CVS will hold something like that. So, I wanted to send it to my mom's. Because if it has to stay at her house until like the day before Father's Day, then I know I can do that. So, now if it's not exactly what it's supposed to look like, I am not going to have time to order anything else. I will just have to... I don't have a backup plan. How do I not have a backup plan for Father's Day? I'm going to have to try to look into a plan B for that. But, anyhow...
I'm going to brush your teeth.
No, not right now. Mommy already... Because I already did. So, anyhow... With that being said, we are off, and we will see you guys next time. Out.